guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I have a different type of video for you. Today I'm going to be talking about how I got into NYU Tisch drama program. This school has been like a dream since I was in the 9th grade, and now I'm a freshman in college, well, about to be a freshman in college, so I know this is also a lot of people's dream school, so I thought I'd just go through the process of how I got here, what the process was like, my test scores and my grades, because I know so many people worry about those, and just kind of like the overall experience. The program that I got into was the Meisner Studio, and yeah, so that's for acting, which is great. Let's just start. I know this is what a lot of people want to know, the grades, and I'm not even gonna make you wait for this. So my high school grades were they were good. I, had a 3.5 and up all of high school, but the highest I got was like, by the time I graduated, I ended up with like a 3.6 unweighted. So that was not the best in my opinion, but not the worst, because my GPA was weighted because I took like AP classes, I took honors. So that also looks really good when you're trying to get into schools, but it is not necessary. As long as you are doing good in your classes and you have like the work to prove that you're doing good, you're gonna be fine. So let's talk about SAT scores. Okay, so I took my PSAT in the 10th grade and that went pretty bad. I got a 900. But that's the PSAT. So for my SAT score, the first time, I took it twice. The first time, I think I got like a 1080. The first time I got a 1080. The second time I got 1100. So I literally only went up 20 points, but I still got in. So don't let that defeat you. Like if you don't have the best SAT score, I literally did not either. I am right there with you. I am a struggling student who's trying hard, but let's just say that math section butchered me. Okay, hi, editing Kaylee. So Tisch does not even require you to send in your scores. Like I made this whole thing about SAT scores, but like they don't even require them. So like if you're shaky about your SAT scores, just don't submit them because it's a choice and they're not gonna punish you if you don't, because I did it and I got in. So, but please take your SATs because you want to apply for other schools. You want to make sure if they need your SAT scores, you have your SAT scores, because if you don't get into Tisch, you need to have another school lined up and they might require them. So it's best to just knock it out the way. I did not take the ACT. I already kind of went over my GPA. Up until my 10th grade year, I had a 3.8. But then I started taking AP classes, and my AP US history class really was a struggle for me. So that brought me down because those were like the first C's that I got in high school. And like I was freaking out. Like my mental health got really bad because I was like, oh my God, I'm not gonna get to school. Like there's no way I'm getting in. But just do the best that you can, because grades do not define you. You just work hard. That is the main thing. Yeah, I made mostly A's and B's. I got a few C's, so you'll be okay. Let's talk about, now that the grades and stuff are over. Okay, so let's also talk about, because this is for the drama program, not like any other programs, but specifically Tisch drama. Experience. I know a lot of people worry about experience. Now personally, I have been blessed and I have been lucky to have quite a bit of experience in things. I've been dancing all my life, singing and acting like all my life. But the funny thing is, out of all three of those, I have the least amount of acting experience. I have never been actually trained in acting. It is all just what I know and what I've picked up by listening to people, and I still got in. It is okay. You don't need the most amount of training. People train their whole lives for this. I started voice lessons in 9th grade. I started dancing, when I was little. I've never had an acting class. I got into just a straight acting school, and I really wanted musical theater. In the audition process, you can choose whether or not you want to do all studios open, which means you can audition for all the studios, and if they don't feel like you're the best fit for musical theater, they'll put you somewhere else. That being said, I have had more experience my whole life in dancing and singing, okay? Not acting. Literally, I was like, my acting, in my interview, he said, out of those three, what do you think's your best? I said, I think my best is singing and dancing. He was like, really? Because your acting's really good. So just hone what you can do on your own. Don't freak out. They want to see your natural talent and what they can work with. They're not looking for seasoned professionals. They want somebody that they can work up from the ground up and that they can train. So if you're really worried about not having the most experience, just do what you can and work as hard as you can. Okay, so now I'm gonna talk about my audition process. I had to go to the LA audition because I live in Arizona, so I had to fly out there. And honestly, this was one of the best audition experiences that I have had. I was so nervous because this was like my first audition, but it was so well. Like the people, you walk into this room, you sign in, you walk in, take a seat, and for about 30 minutes, they sit you down, they tell you what NYU is gonna be like. They lay it out in front of you. So if you have any questions, that's the perfect time to ask. They are so friendly, but they're also there to let you know that they mean business. And so, but don't get intimidated here. When you walk in and you see all these other people, I freaked out because originally I selected musical theater only, not all studios open. I only wanted musical theater, and literally in the last 20 minutes of my audition, after being there for 2 hours, I switched to all studios open because I was like, oh my God, I was so intimidated and I didn't even think I was gonna get in. Trust yourself. Yeah, I didn't get musical theater like I wanted to, but they tell you this in the meeting at the beginning. Trust their process because you might be great at singing and dancing already, so they feel like they should work with you more on acting. So that's great. I was slightly heartbroken, but I was just blessed that I got in, and I am trusting the process, and that's what you just need to do. So they tell you all of that beautiful information at the beginning. Basically, at this point is where you officially sign in. They tell all the people to stand up, and they call your names, and they have you sign in and make sure and confirm some things on the computer to make sure that it is all correct before your audition. Now, if you did all studios open instead of musical theater only or acting only, this is where they split you up and they're like, okay, you're gonna go with dancing, you're gonna go acting first, you're gonna go voice first. I did dancing first, and I was so happy because I'm a dancer first. So I was in a good mindset. So they teach you a combination. You have about an hour, 30 minutes to an hour in there. And honestly, for me, it wasn't that hard. But other people, it might be. But again, you don't have to be a professional. They just want to make sure that you can be worked with and you can be molded. So make sure anything that they ask you, unless you genuinely just don't feel comfortable, say yes, because you might surprise yourself. So we started off with the dancing. For dancing, you go in groups. You don't go by yourself. Oh my gosh, you go in groups of 4. Then I went to singing. So singing, they brought everybody in a room and they warmed you up, which is great because I was like, oh my God, am I gonna go in cold? They warm you up. So that was beautiful. Just hearing all of our voices, we were all nervous, but I think that was a really relaxing moment for all of us. So they warm you up, and then what they do is they take you in a holding room and they call you in one by one. So you go in there, pretty much you say what you're gonna sing, they play it, you sing. Sometimes they might ask you to do things, sometimes they don't. In my case, they did not, versus when I auditioned for USC, they worked with me for about 15 minutes, it felt like, which was also an amazing experience. I just went straight out. They did not work with me, they said thank you, and I was like, uh-oh. Make sure you do have your 2 songs, 32 bar cuts. One, it was from a traditional Canon, and then another one was any contemporary song, but they had to be contrasting, you know what I mean? So one upbeat and one ballad. Then I went to acting, and I was one of the last people, and this is where I changed my decision. I was like, oh my God, you just hear these people and they're singing, because these walls are paper thin, you can hear all of them. Not necessarily the conversations that are going on, but just the voices, and you're like, oh God, why am I even here? I was so nervous. I was like, okay, literally there's no way I'm gonna get in, and I'm not advising you to do this, but let's just say this got me into NYU. Keep your options open, unless you have a fallback plan, which I did not. Keep your options open. So I was like, I asked the lady last minute, I was like, is there any way I could change from musical theater only to all studios? She's like, yeah, it's no problem. Let me just get my tablet. We got out. 2 seconds later, I was all studios. The person that auditioned me for acting, it was already updated in his system by the time I got in there. So, and that was within 5 minutes. They always have an adult in the rooms with you. So if you have any questions, just go ask them. I went into my acting audition. Okay, I was least prepared for this because I had just been struggling to find a monologue, but my tips for finding a monologue, find something that connects to you and shows them who you are. Because I literally, okay, I hope they don't see this. Please don't see this. I learned my monologue 2 days before my audition. I know that's horrible, but I just literally couldn't find anything. But I found something online. I really liked it. I connected with it and I was like, okay, I got this. So I memorized it. So I went in there with that, and then I did my comedic piece, and then they sat down and they interviewed you. This is the part where you get interviewed, is during your acting audition. So he just asked me a few questions like, why NYU? What studio do you want the most? Look, I don't even know if I'm supposed to be telling you guys this, but you know, we're all nervous out here. So I'm letting you know. All these questions are going to be different based on you though. I'm not going to say these are the questions that they will ask you. This is just what they asked me. You know, like why NYU? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What made you want to pursue this field? Like what studio do you want? And I did not know much about the studios because I knew I wanted a new studio on Broadway. So I was like, whatever studio you guys feel is best for me, I will take it. So, but I want musical theater overall. That did not happen, but again, trust the system. And the good thing about NYU is your junior year, after you get your primary training done, which is your freshman and sophomore year, you can audition for any other studio you want to. So that is like in Tisch drama. So I'm probably gonna audition for new studio on Broadway, but you never know. Like I might fall in love with Meisner because everybody that I've heard like that wanted musical theater, they got placed in an acting studio, they love it. That's also a really good thing about NYU. They let you jump around after you got your primary training. So yeah, after the questions, I felt pretty good because, while like they're walking around in the beginning, they look really intimidating, but once you get to talk to them, they're humans. Remember, they are humans. They were in your shoes. They know just how nervous you are. They are rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. One thing that I did find out, some people think that your whole training is going to be in the Tisch building. From what I have heard, that is not true. They have the Tisch building, which is beautiful, but they also have like other areas around town where you can take your studio training. 3 days a week you're gonna have studio. It's either from 9 to 5, which is my latest one in the week, or it's from 9 to 6. This is so important. Studio placement. I already know I've talked to you about it, but this year it was a little different. So normally when you get your acceptance letter, from what I've heard, or before you either get your acceptance letter and you get your studio placement, or you get your acceptance letter, then before you have to make the decision to go, you get your studio placement. But that's not how it was this year. This year we got our letter. It just said we got in. It didn't even tell us where we're placed. So we got our letter, and then by college decision day, where you have to like choose whether or not you're gonna attend that school or not, like that is the deadline, we still didn't know. So everyone was like, everybody in like the NYU Facebook chat was freaking out. We're like, oh my God, what's going on? Because there wasn't that much information. But after doing some investigating and some digging, I found out that we were not gonna find out until May 31st what our studio placement is. So pretty much we're like, unless you audition musical theater only or acting only, obviously if you got in, you're in either or. But for the all studios open people, we were all just kind of like lost. We found out May 31st, which was a little like, a lot of us freaked out because some of us didn't get what we wanted, but we're going. So we were just kind of like, oh gosh, like, and this could be a problem for someone who's trying to decide between two schools. If they wanted to get into musical theater and they were waiting to find that out, if they wanted to go to another school or Tisch, like that was obviously a problem. That's just a new way they did it this year. So I don't want to speak too much on that, but it was a little like interesting. I'm gonna say interesting. Oh guys, do something that I didn't do. Apply for scholarships because I'm struggling. Luckily, Tisch blessed me with a scholarship. I'm not gonna go into amounts because that's personal, but they blessed me with a scholarship, but it's obviously not a full ride and I still have to pocket out a lot of money. So make sure when you are considering this to be a school that you genuinely consider if you can afford it, and if not, make sure before last minute you find ways of maybe applying for scholarships, figuring out if you can get grants, work study, fill out your FAFSA. Make sure that is all figured out, and make sure you look at that, because there's FAFSA and there's another form that they want. So it's not just FAFSA that they want, and that almost caught me where I didn't get any financial aid. Guys, yeah, that's it. But the bottom line is, yeah, your grades do not have to be perfect. Your acting and singing and dancing does not have to be perfect. If you mess up, it is okay. You are human. Have as much fun as you possibly can and just relax. Make sure you're prepared. Going to a class will be great. If you can get any training before your audition, it is advised because it helps you know a little more. Even if you're just going on YouTube, guys, YouTube's okay. YouTube is an amazing platform. Just like I'm talking to you, you have Broadway professionals, Broadway veterans talking to you guys, giving you information. I gotta get going, but I really hope you enjoy this video. Check out my other videos. I'm like a fashion channel if this is your first time seeing me. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or things that you think that I didn't answer that I know the answer to, or maybe if you're an NYU student watching this video and you see, you know, people in the comments asking questions, please answer them, because I don't have all the information. Heck, I haven't even gone to college yet. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below to let me know that you like what I had to show. If NYU is your dream school, go for it. You got it. I'll see you guys in my next video. Love you. Bye. Break a leg.